it's Maths Clinic again with Jenifraction, and you're welcome to class today. Our last topic, we talked about fractions. I introduced fractions. Fraction is a part of a whole. And I also said there are three types of fraction: proper fraction, improper fraction, and mixed fraction. This is ordering of fractions for grade 4. Today, we're treating ordering fractions. When ordering fractions of the same denominator, they are called like terms. In this topic, we're going to be treating comparing fractions with greater than, less than, or equal to. Let's take this for example. We have 5 up over 8, and we have 2 up over 8. They are the same denominator. 5 is bigger than 2. Therefore, 5 up over 8 is bigger than 2 up over 8. But in this class today, we're going to be ordering fractions, we're going to be comparing fractions, and we're going to be arranging fractions with different denominators. Fractions that don't have the same denominator are called unlike fractions. I'll take it again. Fractions with different denominators are called unlike fractions. I'll start with 2 fractions first. I have 9 over 10, 11 over 12. And you're asked which is bigger. I have a shorter method I want to teach you today, and that method is called the butterfly method. I'll say it again, the butterfly method. In this method, I'm going to draw a butterfly and a butterfly. Can you see that? This is the butterfly method. And when I'm using the butterfly method, I'm going to multiply. So I have 10 times 11. 10 times 11 is 110. 9 times 12 is 108. So we can look for the bigger fraction. 108 for 9 up over 10. And I have 110 for 11 up over 12. So which is bigger? 110 is bigger than 108. So the biggest fraction, or the bigger fraction, is 11 over 12. Very simple and short. I'll call it the butterfly method. Let's take another example. I have 3 up over 4, and I have 4 up over 9. Which is bigger? Remember, we're using a butterfly method. So I'll cross it out, and I'll cross this. And I'm using my multiplication. So I have 3 times 9. 3 times 9 is 27. I'll write my 27. 4 times 4 is 16. I write my 16. So which is bigger, 27 or 16? 27 is bigger than 16. Therefore, we say 3 over 4, not 3 over 9. Don't say 3 up over 9, because that's not the fraction. The fraction is 3 up over 4. So we say 3 up over 4 is bigger. I'll take one more example, and this time around is going to be which is smaller. I have 2 up over 5 or 10 up over 25. Which is smaller? Our butterfly method and this, and remember we are multiplying. So I have 5 times 10, and that is 50. I have 2 times 25, and that is also 50. So, which is smaller? They are equal. That means no smaller and no bigger. We say 2 up over 5 equals 10 up over 25. So in this case, we don't have a bigger fraction and we don't have a smaller fraction. They are equal. So we say 2 up over 5 equals 10 up over 25. We are moving up to arranging fractions more than 2 fractions. We want to arrange 3 fractions, 4 fractions, and more. When arranging fractions from the smallest to the biggest, we say ascending. And we are arranging fractions from the biggest to the smallest, we say descending. When comparing fractions or when arranging more than 2 fractions, there are some steps we have to take. Step 1, find the LCM. Find the LCM of the denominators. You find the LCM of the denominators. That's the first step. Remember, the denominators are the numbers under. So step 2, you divide the LCM by each denominator. You divide the LCM by each denominator and then multiply by the numerator. Let's take examples. I have 1 over 2, 2 over 5, 3 over 4, 7 over 10. And we are to arrange in ascending order. Now we have these fractions. 1 up over 2, 2 up over 5, 3 up over 4, and 7 up over 10. We want to arrange. When you see this, don't just say 2 is small, so 1 over 2 is the smallest. 4 is the next, 3 over 4 is the smallest. No, don't arrange according to how you see the numbers. You have to follow the steps. I'll repeat, when you are arranging fractions, don't just pick your numbers according to how you see them by saying 7 over 10 is big. 7 is big and 10 is big, so you pick 7 over 10. No, you have to follow the steps. Now, let's take our steps. I said step 1, find the LCM of the denominators. So what are denominators? 2, 5, 4, and 10. So let's find their LCM. 2, 5, 4, and 10. We want to find the LCM of these numbers. So we start by using 2. 2 divided by 2, we have 1. Can 5 divide 2? No. So I write my 5. 4 divided by 2, we have 2. And 10 divided by 2, I have 5. So what number should I use again? I'll still use my 2. I already have my 1, so I continue with my 1. 5 cannot divide 2, I write my 5. 2 divided by 2, 1. 5 cannot divide 2 again, I write down my 5. So we have 5 and 5. I'll use my 5. I have 5, 1. 5 divided by 5, 1. 1 and 1. Now let's look for our LCM. 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So our LCM is 20. Now this is what I'll do. I'll rule a line and write down my LCM. That is 20. Step 2, you divide your LCM by each denominator. I'll start with the first one. 20 divided by 2. 20 divided by 2 is what? 10. Remember I said divide and times. So 20 divided by 2 is 10. Then I'll say that's 10 times 1. 20 divided by 2 is 10. Then I'll say 10 times 1. 10 times 1 is 10. I write down my 10. My comma. I'll move to the next fraction. 20 divided by 5. 20 divided by 5 is what? 20 divided by 5 is 4. I'm not going to write my 4 here. This is wrong. Remember I said divide and then multiply. So I'll say 20 divided by 5 is 4. And I'll say 4 times 2. 4 times 2 is 8. I write down my 8. Did you get that? We move to the next fraction. Our denominator here is 4. Then I'll say 20 again divided by 4 is 5. I write down my 5. No, this is wrong. Remember, divide and then multiply. So 20 divided by 4 is 5. Then I'll say 5 times 3. 20 divided by 4 is 5. 5 multiplied by 3 is 15. It's my 15 I'm going to write. I'll move to the last fraction. What do I say? 20 divided by 10. 20 divided by 10. And that is 2. Should I write down my 2? No. What will I do? I'll say, that's my 2 times 7. 2 times 7 is 14. Can you now see that we've looked for all our numbers using the same denominator? How did we get this? We looked for the LCM of our denominators. Now we want to arrange our fraction in ascending order, and that is from the smallest. We are using these numbers we got here. We look for the smallest number. But before we do that, let's arrange them using the same denominator. So this becomes 10 up over 20. And it is for 1 up over 2. The next becomes 8 up over 20. The next becomes 15 up over 20. And the last becomes 14 up over 20. You can see we've expressed them in the same denominator. We've expressed them in the same denominator. So we can arrange our fractions. Therefore, what is the smallest number here? Remember, the first one is for the first fraction. The second, that is 8 over 20, is for 2 over 5. 15 over 20 is for 3 over 4. 14 over 20 is for 7 over 10. So we want to arrange. What is the smallest here? The smallest is 8 over 20. So what fraction is represented by 8 over 20? That's 2 over 5. So we have 2 up over 5. This is out. What is the next small number? We have 10 over 20. So what fraction is represented by 10 over 20? We have 1 over 2. This is out. And the next is what? 14 over 20. And that is 7 over 10. And the last one is 3 over 4. Can you see what I said the other time? If I have taken 1 over 2 as my smallest fraction because it has the smallest number, can you see that I'll be wrong? From our calculation here, we can see that 2 over 5 is the smallest fraction. Let's take another example. I have 3 up over 5, 7 up over 9, 8 up over 15, and 2 up over 3. Do we still remember our steps? Remember I said don't just pick fractions and say, 2 over 3 is small now, so 2 over 3 is the smallest. No, you have to follow the steps. This time around, we are arranging in descending order. And remember I said descending is from the biggest down to the smallest. What is step 1? Step 1, find the LCM of the denominators. So what are denominators? 5, 9, 15, and 3. 5, 9, 15, and 3. Now we're finding our LCM. Are we using 2? No, because there is no factor of 2 in this. So we use 3. 3 cannot divide 5. We write down 5. 9 divided by 3, 3. 15 divided by 3, 5. And 3 divided by 3 is 1. So we use our 3 again. 5 cannot divide 3. I write down my 5. 3 divided by 3, 1. 5 cannot divide 3. I write down my 5 and my 1. So what number do I use now? I have 5 and 5. I'll use my 5. 5 divided by 5, 1. My 1. 5 divided by 5 again, 1. And my 1. So let's find our LCM. We have 3 times 3 times 5. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. So our LCM is 45. So I'll rule my line and write my 45. Now I'll move to the next step, which is divide and then multiply. And we are dividing by the denominator. Let's start. I'll start with the first fraction. 45 divided by 5, and that is 9. 9 times 3, which is 27. I write my 27. I'll move to the next fraction. 45 divided by 9, which is 5. Should I write down my 5? No. I'll say 5 times 7, and that is 35. The next one, 45 divided by 15. 45 divided by 15 is 3. I write 3. No, don't forget to multiply by your numerator. So I'll say 3 times 8, and that is 24. And the last fraction, 45 divided by 3. 45 divided by 3 is 15. Then I'll say 15 times 2. 15 times 2 is 30. Now I have to express all of them in the same denominator. Let's start. 27 over 45. The next, 35 over 45. The next, 24 over 45. And the last, 30 over 45. Remember that 27 over 45 is for 3 over 5. 35 over 45 is for 7 over 9. 24 over 45 is for 8 over 15. And 30 over 45 is for 2 over 3. And we are arranging in descending order. Descending is arranging from the biggest. Now, what is the biggest number here? Our biggest is 35. So what fraction goes for 35? 7 over 9. So I write down my 7 over 9. This is out. What is the next biggest? We have 30 over 45, and that is for 2 over 3. This is out, and the next is 27 over 45, which is 3 over 5. And the smallest is 24 over 45, which is 8 over 15. Can you now see that you don't just pick fractions according to how they are small or how they are big to arrange them? You have to follow the steps. And the steps, step 1, find the LCM of the denominators. And step 2, you divide the LCM by the denominator and then multiply. This is all we have to go in ordering fractions. See you in our next class. I still remain Jenifraction. Bye.